Hi, my name is Zoha. How am I doing? Oh, I'm okay. Well, a few weeks ago, I did something really stupid. But other than that, everything's pretty cool. You may be wondering what this stupid thing was. Well, at my school, we have an outdoor eating area, and this outdoor eating area is surrounded by fence and pillars. So being the smart person that I am, I tried to climb one of these pillars. Now, no, I am not particularly strong or graceful, so you can just imagine what happened next. I fell. I completely failed at climbing this pillar. And as one would normally do, I posted a bloody picture of myself on my story. So, long story short, I had to go to the ER and get 11 stitches right here. So after posting that on my story, I really did not expect anybody to respond. I did it ironically, and yeah. But the amount of people who responded was unreal. It was incredibly heartwarming to have this support from people who were genuinely worried about how I was doing. And I realized that oftentimes I forget to do this kind of thing, genuinely ask about how other people are doing. Social norms dictate that when you meet someone new, when you catch up with old friends, you say, "Hello, how are you?" The automatic response is good or some variation of that. Even if we're not, we still say good. Responding with something not so good will open this whole Pandora's box of emotions that we are not ready to confront. It becomes like an automated voicemail message, normalized and ignored. We forget to genuinely ask each other how we are doing, and consequently do not practice empathy in our everyday lives. So today, I want to talk about empathy, how there is a lack of it in our society, and end with a hopeful reminder. So let's start with the basics. What is empathy? Empathy is when you put yourself in someone else's shoes and think from their perspectives, regardless of their backgrounds or beliefs. There is a hadith, or a saying by the Islamic prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who once said, "The parable of the believers is like that of a body. When one part of the body begins to ache, the entire body reacts with sleeplessness and fever." This hadith can be applied to everyone and not just Muslims. As a global community, we should treat each other the way that we want to be treated, as the saying goes. When we don't, problems and divisions arise. This lack of empathy is far more prevalent than any of us realize. In 2010, a study done by the University of Michigan Institute of Social Research found that young adults today are displaying higher levels of narcissism and lower levels of empathy as compared to earlier generations. This generation, my generation, is often described as Generation Me, and are some of the most narcissistic, self-centered, and egotistic people in recent history. Sarah Conrath, one of the researchers on this study, provides an explanation to this behavior. A growing amount of research is establishing that exposure to social media and the constant obsession with ourselves numbs people to the pain and suffering of others. Do we really want to be characterized as individuals who are so apathetic that we forget to be empathetic towards the emotions of others? Every year, I participate in a speech competition called Forensics in the category Persuasive Speaking. Last year, my speech was about the disadvantages that people of color face when applying to colleges and universities. In the final round at one tournament, there was a judge who was just completely throwing me off. He kept on making faces and shifting in his seat while I was performing. Later, after the tournament was over and I received feedback on my speech, I saw that he had written, "I think that this speech lacks merit and that playing the race card has no relevance in this competition." I felt sick to my stomach. How could he just ignore all the facts, statistics, and stories of individuals who have suffered because of the color of their skin? How could he criticize me for advocating on their behalf? His lack of empathy blinded him from the undeniable existence of racism in our society. And I have heard countless stories about similar instances that have happened to individuals who have been harassed or insulted because of the way they look, including my own friends and family members. As a society, we fixate on our opinions no matter how disillusioned they are. We become unwilling to learn anything new and hinder ourselves from being empathetic. Racism, sexism, all of these are the result of an unsympathetic mentality. Put simply, the world right now is just so messed up. I'm sure you've heard of the Chinese Uyghur Muslims who are being forced into internment camps and are being stripped away of their identities, principles, and beliefs. And because this ethnic cleansing is happening in a place like China, there is no official international intervention. Refugees are increasing as the oppression under violent regimes persists, like in Syria, in Palestine, and like what the migrant families have faced in their home countries. Right around the corner in Flint, people still do not have clean water to drink. With all these terrible things happening, it seems that empathy is distant and far from our reach. However, a recent experience has taught me otherwise. After the massacre of 50 Muslims in a New Zealand mosque, I was extremely devastated. I was just so reminded of all of the hate in our society, and I felt very discouraged. But regardless, the Muslim community at my school wanted to create awareness about Islamophobia and honor the memories of these individuals. So we invited all of the students and staff in our school to attend our weekly Jummah sermon, which happens every Friday. That Friday, we wanted to address Islamophobia and how to be an effective ally. I'm going to be completely honest. I really did not think people would come because I thought they just wouldn't care. But the turnout was incredible. The amount of staff, students, and teachers who came out to support my cause was so incredibly heartwarming. It was so inspiring to be a part of this community support and feel the solidarity. To me, this is what empathy truly is. If we as humanity want to dispel any negativity from our lives, then we need to become more empathetic. We have to be there for our friends and family members in their times of hardships. We need to be there to support each other's causes and be willing to put aside our prejudices and learn something new. Yes, there is an undeniable existence of apathy and hate in our society. But we can combat this by practicing empathy so that we can tackle issues that have to do with race, gender, cultures, and other societal injustices. Last year, my friend opened up on this very stage and shared her own story about how achieving the impossible is possible. I want to reiterate this message. While it is absolutely gut-wrenching to witness all of these terrible things, there is still hope. By practicing empathy, we can spread positivity and utilizing platforms like TED to learn about other people's messages and not just spread our own, we can accomplish this. The title of my speech is, How Are You? I chose this title because I believe by genuinely asking someone how they are doing, we can practice empathy. It may seem like a small gesture, but it has a great impact. So, once again, hi. My name is Zoha. How am I doing? I'm pretty good. The real question is, how are you doing? Thank you.